Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark is on the verge of serving a one-game suspension after she was assessed a technical foul in yesterday's win against the Minnesota Lynx. The ref hit her with a technical foul for a hostile act. Now it's being reported that they was reviewing that and possibly trying to suspend her for a game on that hostile act. But before we get off into today's podcast, tell a friend to tell a friend. Well, the Indiana Fever are showing some life. They playing some good ball right now. ESPN has them moved up in the ESPN rankings. Now, after yesterday's win against the Minnesota Lynx, this team is starting to gel. They're starting to put it together. Aaliyah Boston is starting to perform. Kelsey Mitchell is still doing her thing. Now, they got the superstar and Caitlin Clark, and she's doing her thing. She's still not shooting the ball like she's capable of shooting the ball. The field goal percentage is down, but she's a threat anytime that she's on the court. Now, it's been reported earlier in the season, Christy Sides trying to come to Caitlin Clark's defense when Caitlin Clark was getting, visibly frustrated with these refs for these non-calls. And she was getting up in the ref's face and, she was getting technical fouls. And Christy Sides was never really in her corner. A lot of people complained about Christy Sides, talking about Christy Sides, you should be defending your superstar player, but that wasn't happening. But then Christy Sides went to the post-game press conference probably about a month back and said she and Caitlin Clark has to be more, patient. She has to stand back from the officials. Let me get the technical fouls. But Christy Sides wasn't getting the technical fouls. Caitlin Clark was rapidly picking up these technical fouls. Now, in the WNBA and the NBA, when you reach a certain amount of technical fouls that have been called on you, you automatically serve a one-game suspension. Now, Caitlin Clark has 4 technical fouls on the season. Now, in the WNBA, when you assess 7 technical fouls, you're automatically suspended for one game and fined up to $800. So Caitlin Clark is, treading on, thin ice. She got to keep her composure. I understand the frustrations and the ebb and flows of a WNBA game where it does get physical. But yesterday's technical foul for flailing her arm, hitting the opposing player, the ref had to stop it. They had to go to review, and she was assessed a technical foul for a hostile act. But they had to go to the monitor to determine that. But Caitlin Clark, it's becoming a thing. Now, here's a report from Athlon Sports and home of the WNBA. Potential Caitlin Clark suspension becomes a hot topic after Lynx incident. So basically, the article stating potential Caitlin Clark suspension becomes a hot topic after the Lynx incident, right? Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever come out on top Sunday against a determined Minnesota Lynx side in what turned out to be a thrilling encounter. In the end, Indiana prevailed 81-74. The win did not come without incident, though, particularly on the Clark front. At one point, the Fever superstar was assessed a technical foul for a hostile act. Clark did not appreciate Lynx forward Cecilia Zanlacina grabbing her by the arm, which prompted the rookie sensation to extend her arm in her opponent's direction. Now, after reviewing the play, the game official deemed Clark's act was worthy of a technical foul, which was her 4th of the regular season. At this point, the 22-year-old is 3 technical fouls away from an automatic one-game suspension, as outlined by USA Today earlier this season. After a player obtained 7 technical fouls, they are fined $800 and are suspended for 1 game. Clark would not be suspended for yesterday's incident because it was inadvertent hitting Zanlacina in the face, but she is in danger of being sanctioned if she gets 3 more technical fouls this season. There are 15 more games to be played in the regular season, and fans will keep a close eye on what could be a looming suspension for the rookie. So now we got to monitor this situation because right now the Indiana Fever are playing good ball. They got 10 wins. They moving up in the standings. 10 or 11 wins. They're moving up in the standings. ESPN got them trending in the right direction. Got them as one of the hottest teams in the WNBA. But this is a serious matter. Now, if they got to move forward and Caitlin Clark serves a 1-game suspension for technical fouls, that could be a big issue. The Indiana Fever are trying to do something that they haven't done in a long time. Right now, they in the playoff race, and they're sitting at number 7. So they're in a comfortable position of making the playoffs. But everything looms on Caitlin Clark's actions. Now, Caitlin Clark she got to dial it back a little bit. I know you're out there being aggressive. I know you don't like the way things are going, but you just got to let the refs handle it. She's getting technical fouls. The technical fouls she got early in the season, they was some just frustration technical fouls because you know what the whole thing was? These people are playing Caitlin Clark tough. They dogging her out. They're knocking her down. As soon as Caitlin Clark retaliates, she gets a technical foul. That just was visibly frustrated early in the season. Indiana Fever got off to a 1-8 start. It was toward, but they 10-6 in their last 16. So they're doing good for themselves right now. But Caitlin Clark, she got to dial it back because you don't want your superstar to be potentially suspended in a crucial game that might implement some playoff seedings. And you're going to need Caitlin Clark to be around if you're going to make a splash going into the playoffs, or if you do want to make the playoffs, because right now it's nip and tuck with Chicago, and they can't afford no setbacks. So Caitlin Clark has to dial it back. And like Christy Side said early in the season, let her get the technical fouls. Let her get the technical fouls. But yesterday's technical foul, that was something out of, Christy Side's control, because what Caitlin Clark did, she thought that that she was playing her close, and she flailed her arm and she hit the girl in the face, and she was assessed a technical foul. Now, you know what happened, the game against the Washington Mystics, when Van Loo was playing her close and Caitlin Clark pushed her off and mocked her. Now, she could have been easily assessed a technical foul on that play, but the ref swallowed the whistle. Now, a lot of people are coming to this notion that, the refs are targeting Caitlin Clark, by giving her these technical fouls. But, when you're an aggressive ball player like Caitlin Clark and they playing Caitlin Clark aggressive, things get a little chippy. So it's nip and tuck. So it's how these officials want to call it. But Caitlin Clark got to be real careful, because you don't want to, diminish what you got going on. Right now, the Indiana Fever are playing great ball. Like I said, Aaliyah Boston, she has found her stride. Kelsey Mitchell is doing her thing, and Caitlin Clark is contributed in big ways. But after yesterday's game, Caitlin Clark did take to the post-game press conference, and she said some, great things about the fans of the Indiana Fever and the people that support her and follow her since her Iowa days. Let's take a listen to what Caitlin Clark had to say.
Fine memories here. Well, what does that mean to you, and does that add any sort of sentimental value to do that in this building?
Not really. Probably something I won't remember. I don't know. It's cool.
She's stuck at the Cheryl Reeves.
You are so funny, girl.
On the far side.
Yeah, just playing in Minnesota. Obviously, you're going to come back here against them again, and you said the Maya Moore we talked about before the game, but I think it's now 9-0 in terms of your time in college and in like the Big Ten tournaments in Minneapolis. Just what's got you right about this city?
Well, the fans are awesome, man. I mean, how many Fever fans were here? It seemed like a lot of Fever fans. Don't you think there are a lot of Fever fans here?
There were a lot of Fever fans.
Yeah, there were a lot of Fever fans. They were cheering, going crazy. A lot of people that probably supported when I was here playing with Iowa, but I don't know. It's a great venue. Target Center's awesome. I mean, I remember like when I was here for in college, like the people were lined up like overnight to try to get in the door, and like they just love women's basketball. The city supports women's basketball. Obviously, the history here and what the Lynx have been able to do. But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe there's a little magic in here. Who knows? Just knock on wood, because we do come back.
Now, you heard what Caitlin Clark said. She said her Indiana fans, they travel. She's 9-0 in Minnesota, man, ever since her college days. So she said she wanted to knock on wood, but she blessed her fans and blessed the Indiana Fever fans that traveled, and a lot of support for Caitlin Clark. But we're going to monitor this situation. So you guys, man, post your comments. Let me know what y'all think. Will Caitlin Clark, stand pat? Will she serve a 1-game suspension? Guys, let me know. I'll be eager to hear from you. But that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces. And remember, on your way out the door, do me a favor. When you put your shoes on, give this video a thumbs up.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.